friend and co-host AJ, and tonight we are going to be discussing strong men, strong relationships, and how brotherhood, boundaries, and belief can create healthy relationships. Tonight we're going to be discussing the four key relationships that every man should have. Ember's trying to get invited on here. Um, all right, Shuffle's over here. All right, so the four key relationships that every man should have, and the 10, is it 10? 10 boundaries or 10?
Yeah, the 10 healthy
Rules of the
the
10
10
rules of
healthy
a healthy
rules.
marriage or a healthy
You got it.
relationship. All right.
Right.
So, what do you want to start off with, AJ, on that topic?
Communication. I think that's number one.
Well, let's do the healthy relationships first.
Oh, all right. Sorry. Well, we're gonna go to the rules. All right. What do you want? What do you want to start?
All right. So the four most important relationships, and I did a TikTok.
Oh, the four most important relationship. Yeah. All right. So
I
yeah,
did a live
yourself.
on this last week. So what I had said was that it was your relationship with your God or your Maker, relationship with yourself, brotherhood, then family.
Yep.
Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. I just have it in a little bit different. I've thought a lot about it since you said it, and my idea was that the first relationship should be with yourself, even before God. And I thought a lot about that whole aspect, but honestly, the idea of being alone with myself is being with God.
Okay.
So I kind of fit the two of them together, but yeah, I absolutely agree. Those are the four important.
Okay. And Shuffler wants to know where did the 10 rules come from?
So the 10 rules actually came from a conversation that I was having with Kate. Kate is my wife. A long story behind that for anyone that does know the story, but yeah, the conversation came up with her. I was having a conversation about what she thought the most important relationship values were, and what kept a relationship or a marriage strong. And she said, I'd like to play a game. She says, I got to leave for work. She says, how about I'm going to go to work? I'm going to write down what I think, and you write down what you think. And she read mine first, then decided not to read hers to me. So I never got to see what she actually thought those things were. But she had totally agreed with what I had wrote down, that they were most important. And I have also looked into a couple other things since I put it in, just to see some other opinions out there on relationships. There's a couple of things that I've seen different, but for the most part, they seem to all match up.
Okay. All right. So now that you've answered that question, why do you feel like the most important relationship in any person's life? Well, I mean, we deal with men we deal with men always, but
Right.
why do you feel like God should be, or the creator, whoever, whatever you want to call him, should be the number one relationship in your life?
Well, first of all, you should never idolize anybody else. You shouldn't even idolize yourself, but you should always put yourself first. You should always come first in any situation, no matter what in life. But there has to be something stronger than you. There has to be something that's bigger to you. There has to be something that you can submit to. So even if it's Mother Nature, there's got to be something that you consider bigger than yourself. I consider it to be God. Others don't believe that. Others have different beliefs on that, but I think that it's important to have something that's a higher power for you to submit to in life. So when you are down or you're in desperate need, you don't have anybody else, or you just need a day to yourself because you're having a tough day, you need someone else to talk with.
Gotcha. You know your camera's not on TikTok, right?
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
How do I?
don't know.
Okay. Howdy.
There you go. Look at that.
All right.
See, now it's not fair.
I did not know that.
You get to look at the camera. I can't look at both cameras. You're getting a side view.
Well, I can't see the conversation on here tonight on Riverside, but I can see it on TikTok because it's where my camera is. My phone's right above the computer. So
Gotcha. All right. Well,
thanks,
Joel agrees with you.
Kratz.
I'm not sure about
Thanks, Cliff.
about your well-being, spiritual, mental, and physical should be a priority.
Oh.
I'm confused on that, but okay.
Where I can't see
So,
the notes.
Personal, you can't see the notes on Riverside?
No, I don't know what I did differently, but I can't see it.
So personally, I feel like since I have found God again in my life, I am more grounded, I'm more even keeled, and I'm open to more opportunities, and I can feel like I'm being guided.
Yeah.
So the second most important relationship is self. And I discussed this last week. I know you were watching it probably. Why do you feel that having a relationship with yourself is very important, or do you not?
No, I do. I think it's the most important relationship that outside of having a higher power. But like I said, I kind of feel like they go hand in hand. But if you don't have a relationship with yourself and you base life off of a relationship with somebody else, if when yeah, if or when it ever comes that other person is not there, then your life's going to fall apart. You're going to lose the whole foundation that holds you up. That's everything that's underneath you, because that's what your life is going to be built off of. That's what your foundation will be built off of. If your
Okay.
relationship is solely with yourself first, then that's going to be your foundation. Either that or with God or your higher power. That's where your foundation will rely.
Okay. And I agree. And so if you any of you guys watch TikTok during the week, 9 o'clock, CE Shuffler goes on and he talks about you're the only person that you are with from birth to death. And that right there is why it's important to have a relationship with yourself. That's where your discipline comes from. That's where everything that you do for you comes with that relationship. If you can't respect or honor yourself, then so if you have a poor relationship with yourself, then you won't be disciplined, and you'll have the lowest standards there are. You'll just take whatever comes your way.
Absolutely, Cliff. You are the most important person in your life.
So, do you see that on TikTok or no?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so check him out if you guys are looking for a little, some discipline, standard, and mindset type coaching every Monday through Thursday at 9 p.m. When he feels like it, he comes on.
I'm waiting for the response on that.
He's been taking some time off with the family lately, and that's good. He's been
That's
putting in
right.
a ton of work this past year on coming on live,
Yeah,
way more than anybody I know. So
that's for sure.
sometimes you gotta take time off for the family. I've been going live on TikTok for like 2 weeks, and I had to take one day off already for
Yep.
family, and then another day off for work and whatever.
That's
Nevertheless, yeah. So if you don't have that relationship with yourself, then you don't know your identity. You have no self.
right.
You will have very low or no self respect,
Right.
amongst many other things. But those two are the biggest things. And I know that prior, I used to struggle with my identity. I didn't know who I was. I
Yeah.
didn't really know who I was until I fell into this work and I started doing the deep work and the just the meditation and the shadow work and all that. So I
Okay.
realized who I was.
Yep. It takes a
So,
lot.
and the third relationship is brotherhood. Feel free.
100%.
Go jump in on that. Tell me why you think brotherhood is important.
So to go back to my situation, so after I was in my accident and my wife left and I drew my kids out of the house and all my friends and everything else, if it wasn't, if I had had a brotherhood at that time, a real brotherhood, then my anger and my stress and everything I needed to talk about wouldn't have been thrown at them. But it was, because there was nobody else in life. I was shut off from all the brothers that I did have because they were all co-workers and such. And because I was hurt on the job, all that communication was cut off. Which kind of left me with nobody to talk to. So everything was on the family, which causes a lot of frustration. Um, Now that I have a strong brotherhood, and ever since I've started this path, I've been able to rebuild normal relationships with my family, with my wife, with my kids. Um, because I don't go to my family with any of my issues. If I need to yell and scream because I've had a rough day, I'm going to call my brother. I'm going to call, one of the guys from group. I'm going to call another coach. I'm going to call Gary. I'm going to call Cliff. I'm going to call Joel. I'm going to talk to somebody else that's a part of our brotherhood that I can reach out to, instead of going and doing that with my wife or doing that with my kids. That's a dangerous relationship to have with your family. And when you don't have a brotherhood, that's the only element that you do have.
So why is it so dangerous to go to your family?
First of all, women are not there. Women do not do well with being made feel like they have to take care of a man's violence. A man's responsibility is to be the masculine role in the relationship. When you go to a woman and you're consistently in pain, you're consistently having problems, you're consistently whining because life sucks for whatever reason, you make that woman feel like she's got to pick up and she's got to take care of your feelings. She's now got to become that caretaker. She's now got to take the energy and time out of her life to figure out how to hold you up. And that's not a role or a place that any woman wants to be. She does not want to be the masculine person in the relationship. And your children should never have involvement in what's going on in your personal life and what your difficulties are, whether they're financial, relationship, job issues, anger issues. It doesn't matter. Your children shouldn't know about them.
I agree 100%. So, and I've coached a few guys who have, so they're going through a divorce or they are divorced and their wife is out of the picture. They haven't quite got the brotherhood yet, and they bring it all to the kid.
Yeah.
And it seems uh, logical, I suppose. I mean, I've done it before
Yeah.
myself. I've said
Yeah.
things to my daughter that
Yeah.
that she didn't need to hear. There's things
Yeah.
but I had to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
This is before the brotherhood, and now that I'm coaching, and we have this brotherhood, that I see where I went wrong, and I see a lot of men do that.
Uh,
So
to Cliff real quick. Yes, you should always be able to go to your partner. Shouldn't your partner be the one person you can go to with anything without judgment? Yes. So, all right. So, yes, it in answers that you should always be able to go to your partner with anything without judgment. But that's different than going to your partner on a day-to-day basis because you're having issues at work or because you're having issues with money, or if you're having consistent problems, that's not something that you should lie on your partner. It's not fair. It brings women into a place of what I've learned, and from the people that I've worked with, is it seems that the product of that situation is making a woman feel like she has to take care of you. She has to be the one that holds you up, and it's not a place that any woman is comfortable being. They don't want to have to be mommy to their husbands or their boyfriends. Yeah, it's one thing if you're just going to them and, yeah, I had a rough day, honey, or I got hurt today. But take my case. I I complained and I was angry and I hated the world. Some idiot made a stupid move, and now I'm in pain for the rest of my life, and I've lost my right arm. I talked about that all day, every day. I screamed, whined, complained, couldn't stop talking about the fact that I couldn't sleep. When I slept, I had nightmares I'd die. I'd wake her up all night long because I didn't think I was alive. I thought I was dead, just haunting my house. That's overbearing. If I had my brothers to go to and have those conversations with, I would have shielded my family and my wife and children from just situations they just shouldn't have been stuck caring for me. And
excellent. So sort of life wants to know about what about adult children, and I think it's easier to bring it to adult children, but I would always recommend Every man needs to have a brotherhood, even if it's one brother, someone they can go to. But yeah, you're better off bringing it to an adult child versus a child.
Absolutely. I mean, I did with my oldest, but Cliff, you're right. I don't think that you should leave your significant other in the dark at all. I mean, my wife knew everything that was going on with me. Um, but when everything broke and fell apart with my marriage and my relationship with my kids, everybody said the same thing. All I did was complain. I was in pain. It was overwhelming, and I still remember my wife's exact words. Like, she felt like she had to take her entire day to take care of my needs and not my physical needs. She said she never minded taking care of my physical needs. It was the emotional side of things that it was just overbearing. But outside of that, having a brotherhood is important too, because, uh, you have a bad day or an argument with your significant other, right? You can kind of take a break, call a brother before you go and decide to go off the deep end. It's just a good place to have. But outside of that, relationships end, marriages end, things happen with your children. Things happen all the time, as we all know, right? We've all dealt in this situation.
Yep.
So you need your brotherhood in those moments. It's a time of desperation for a lot of men going through a divorce or going through a breakup. And if you don't have a brotherhood, what do you have? We find ourselves at the bottom of bottles. We find ourselves doing drugs. We find ourselves alone. So
Absolutely. Um, so Sort of Life wants to know. So how can she, the wife, be a partner if you don't share what you're struggling with? And to that I want to say that so you do share things you're struggling with, but if you're having a bad day at work, if the boss is coming down on you for this or that, or like you said earlier, AJ, money issues,
well,
that I mean, you can tell your wife that there's money issues, but it's
yeah,
if you bring it to the brothers where they're like, all right, so have you consolidated credit cards? Have you stopped spending?
right.
They can help you see things differently. Then you can go to her and be like, listen, so we're broke. But listen, here's what I did do. I cut the credit card up. I
Yeah.
consolidated this and I got a lower interest rate here. So that says now the wife knows that you have financial troubles, but it also says that you have got control over what you're doing.
To Cliff, yes, brotherhoods end too, which is why it's important to find a strong men's group, which we have the Motivated Men's Group every Thursday at 7. And as CE Shuffler has his group almost nightly, his live almost nightly for men out there that are looking for help from other men. And those are the resources that you can find is great men's groups. So yes, friendships can end, but I don't believe, as we've talked about many times, that when we say brotherhood, we don't mean the guy that you have a beer with on Friday night or that go out drinking with. We mean the brotherhood of a men's group, uh, one-on-one coaching, or going to lives like Gary does and like CE Shuffler does.
Good answer.
I hope that
And
answers your question, Cliff.
Glow thinks that she thinks the first person you should go to is your wife. She is a rare breed. Joel, don't let that one go. That's a rare breed.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, it's your call on where
yeah,
you want to bring your problems to first. But
yeah. Glow, real quick. I'll just go real fast with it. So I did go to my wife first, obviously, when I got hurt. Um, but when everything went wrong and it was no longer pain and it became psychological issues and it became nightmares and not being able to sleep, every issue in my life ended up being taken out on her because I didn't have a foundation outside of that marriage. I think I built the foundation off of that marriage and off of my job. And they kind of both got ripped out. And for the most part, Gary's completely right. Most women cannot handle that or want to handle that. They will run for the hills. So you definitely got a good one, Joel.
so Glow says that wasn't directed at you, AJ. Generally speaking, and
No.
To answer what you just said, I am generally always right. Duh. I mean, come on. Even Shuffler says I'm always right. So, and Shuffler, I know that there's no disrespect. I love that you ask the questions, because you asking the questions, it makes it more than just two dudes yapping.
That's right.
You bring a real life into it. So I love that.
Yep.
So I appreciate all of your questions, even the ones where you tear me down.
You said except when you're wrong.
Did you say that? But
Yeah.
I'm never wrong, so it's all good. It's perfect.
That's true.
So, and that's where the last relationship comes in, which would be, and we kind of just went through all this with the last one, which is your woman, family, children. But the importance, so back to the brotherhood, as it rolls, as we roll into the woman or family, is that the brotherhood is meant to level you off, keep you grounded.
Right.
And then you show up as the man you want to for the wife, for the kids.
Right.
So, all right.
Yeah,
so,
you're able to choose at that point, right? You're able to choose whether or not you want to take that and still involve your family. But the thing is as men that carry that weight of masculinity, we can get rid of any toxic masculinity with that brotherhood and not with our loved ones.
Yes. And then on top of that, you can also decide what you're bringing to the wife or the kids. I could go to AJ with a problem and he could easily solve it, or say, hey, have you thought about this? You've done this. And you're like, you know what? You're right. I can fix this problem right now. No one even has to know it existed. I just took care of it. So that's one less worry for my family.
Agreed.
Like if I have to bury a body, I call AJ. I don't call the wife. Come on now. All right.
It
So
wouldn't be the
before
smartest choice.
we get to the 10 rules, we have some promo things to do. All right. So number one.
Yep.
If you guys have not started journaling yet this year, check out this book. It is on Amazon. Ember Swan. It's a 90-day transformational journal.
Great book.
Yeah, it'll get you from where you are to where you want to go. Excellent book on Amazon. I don't have the link for that, so yeah.
Yeah, we should actually work on that.
Yeah, probably next time. We'll do the next one in a minute. Anyway, so guys, if you guys are looking for a men's group, check out Northman Coaching's Motivated Men. It's every single Thursday at 7 p.m. You go to northmancoaching.com, and it is under resources and upcoming upcoming events, and it's called Motivated Men. So come on in, join. If you want to talk. If you don't want to talk, just sit there and listen. It's all good. Like I said, we're just a bunch of grounded men, and we come in and we talk to each other and help each other wherever we can. All right. AJ, I'm going to rattle off the 10 rules that you have come up with here with your discussion with your wife, and then we'll break them all down. So the rules are communication, accountability, integrity, respect, trust, honesty, boundaries, date nights, romance, and one of my favorite things that every relationship needs is intimacy. And that one we're going to get into at the end, but I think a lot of men are very confused on what intimacy is. So, communication. Tell me about that, brother. What do you got?
So, when communication breaks down, and what I noticed, right? My wife loves to, when she doesn't like the direction of the conversation, she loves to say, I'm done with this conversation. Like, I've just had enough, and just shut down. And to me, yeah, you can take the time, but if you don't go back and you don't have good communication, you don't discuss situations when things are wrong, then there is no resolve. If there's no resolve, then things always get built up. If you start a bottle and stop building up within your relationship, then that creates major issues. But communication, just in general, even just in a positive light, is, I think, by far the most important thing that you can have in a relationship. As long as there's always open communication, then you always know what the other one needs. You're always going to know what the other one requires in order to be happy. But at the same time, if you have that open line of communication, then you're going to be able to say to your significant other that something's going on that's really bothering you. And just to go to CE Shuffler, like with his last response that I had saw, not the one he just put up, but I mean, I've been with my wife for 14 years, so I get it. My wife is my ride or die, and she is the first person I go to as well. Um, I always am open with my communication with her. I don't hide anything from her. Um, but when it comes to ongoing issues and things that I just cannot grasp control of, which we all know becomes a toxic masculinity, which becomes a toxic communication. It's not something that I want to bring to my wife. It's something that I want to bring to our men's groups, or to come into CE Shuffle Live and say, hey, this is what's going on this week. This is what's going on today. Like, what do you think? That's the importance of having great communication, but making sure that your communication is open and it's healthy.
Also honest.
No, that's
Actually, it's funny because you have honesty as one of your rules, but with communication, yeah, we just said, bring it to the brotherhood first. But when you bring whatever you're bringing to her, you want to make sure that you are being honest. And that's the other thing is like sometimes you see things differently. If you have a bad day at work, you can spin a story in your head. And when you go right to the wife or the kids or whatever, it comes off and it's not very accurate.
Right.
When you bring it to the
Right.
brothers, they can ground you. They can
Right.
help you see it differently, calm you down, and then you can
Right.
communicate with who you need to communicate, but it'll be honest. So,
Right.
so next up, you have accountability, sir.
Accountability. You got to be accountable for your own things.
Why?
Why? Uh, all right, good question. You stumped me for a minute there, but you have to be accountable. If you're not accountable, then you're always looking to point the blame. For a long time, I guess back to that whole masculinity, had that toxic masculinity trait about myself where I didn't look for accountability. I worked 16-hour days easy, a good day. I worked, 10, 12 hours. I worked almost every day of the week. So to me, I didn't need to be accountable for anything. Uh, Nothing was my issue. Everything in this house, everything in this family is because of the hard work I put in. So there was no accountability on my behalf other than, I was accountable for making the money. Accountability is so important in a relationship. Otherwise, like I said, the first line, you're always going to be pointing fingers at other people. And you can't do that. You have to know what your place is.
Yes. So Shuffler wants to know how can you be honest without personal accountability, and you can't.
No, you
Also, if
can't.
you're doing the blame game, like Joe was saying, and we were just talking about, then when I blame you for something, it's to make me feel better, and it's going to piss you off. So if there's a
Right.
relationship and you're constantly back and forth blaming people, then it just becomes like I don't an emotional free fall when there is no accountability. It's just you hurt me and I'm hurting you, and somehow this feels good, which is
Yeah.
not healthy.
Well, listen, if you have accountability, right, so far as your end of communication, then you're going to be a guy like me when it comes to your relationship. You're never going to be yelling at the woman that you're with. You're never going to raise your voice. You're going to sit there as calm as this, no matter how loud she gets, or no matter how angry she gets, because you're going to sit there and make sure that you pay attention to your accountability in that situation, and you're going to communicate effectively.
So you're telling me that when you get into an argument or a fight, you hold yourself and yourself accountable, and you are accountable for the way that you respond to her.
100%.
I am the same way. It's funny, like I never yell ever.
Oh, I
Um,
yell, just not in my relationship.
I don't even yell outside
Yeah.
unless I'm trying to get your attention from a mile away. I don't even yell. Um, I was going to say something about that, and I can't remember what it was now. I don't know. Whatever.
Sorry, brother. Gonna make you forget.
No, but now I got a text. Adjust my cam. You're kind of low in the frame. On TikTok or on?
Oh yeah, on TikTok.
I know I can't adjust any. I don't know how to adjust because it's on my iPad. So TikTok is getting what it gets. I'm focusing on this on the Riverside. So, but thank you for the heads up. I appreciate it, Joel. I can't fix it. Not today, anyway.
You can't turn your iPad to your left side a little bit.
My left side.
Yep,
move it
yep,
like that.
yep.
Is that better?
Yes, sir. That's
Okay.
perfect. You're in the middle.
Perfect. There we go.
Good
Look at that.
enough.
Thank you, guys. I fixed it. Okay. So Sean said, "Me too. Never yelled 24 years. Never yelled." That's awesome. That's awesome, Sean. That you've never yelled in 24 years. Good job, brother.
Yeah.
All right. Where were we now? Accountability. So next up is one of my favorites that we discussed twice now, which is
integrity.
Integrity. Yes. Why does everybody text me in the middle of a podcast? Everybody I know knows that I'm on a podcast. I appreciate you, Joel. You're okay.
Now you just really hurt a lot of other people's feelings.
There's another one.
No.
Anyway, that's going to distract me. All right. So integrity. What do you got for that one, brother?
We all know what integrity is, right? Integrity is who
we'll
you are.
Do a whole podcast on it.
Integrity is who you are behind closed doors, right? The guy that you are in front of people. Is that the man that you are when nobody's looking? Do you still stand by your values and your strengths when nobody's around? So say you're the guy that takes care of keeping up with something around the house. If your wife's gone for the week, do you lie around the couch and drink beers and not take care of the home? Or do you keep up with taking care of the home just like you would when she was there? Perfect example in a relationship, right? Or, like Gary says, I'm going to steal Gary's line here.
Go for it.
But if you're at the supermarket and you're shopping, you don't need anybody in the parking lot to be a responsible guy and have integrity and put that shopping cart back where it goes. You're not looking for somebody to applaud you, but when you're not with your significant other, you should not be out checking out other women or flirting with other women. Or just because you're out with the guys and you're having some drinks doesn't mean it's okay to talk to another woman. Your integrity should stand with you no matter what. If you wouldn't do it in front of your partner, considering this is on relationships and marriage. So that's where I'm going with the integrity side of things. If you wouldn't do that in front of your significant other, then you shouldn't be doing it when your significant other is not there. Exactly. That to me is integrity and the solidest form in a relationship.
So I don't 100% agree with talking to other women. Like if I would never talk to a woman differently by myself than I would if my significant other was there.
No.
But I'm single, so I do what I want. But integrity could also be that guy on the couch drinking beers, not doing nothing. If you say you're going to sit on the couch and drink beers, not do nothing, and you do that, it is integrity. It's very low standards, but it is integrity.
But it's still honesty. It's still integrity.
Yes. So I don't recommend anybody go that route. But your brother Sean says hi.
Oh, what's going on, bro?
So
I can't see the comments. It must be on Riverside, huh?
On Riverside. Why can't you see the comments? I don't get that.
I don't know. I can always see them, but I think because I used the MacBook tonight, and I didn't use the actual Chrome app, I don't have. Oh, wait a minute. I got him, I think.
There you go. Look at that. Now you're on.
Oh, no, I don't see anything. It says whisper backstage.
Go whisper backstage.
Audience. Oh, that acts like I can click on it. Is it just him? Is it just you, me, and him that are in the chat?
Nope. Sort of Life's in there. My brother's in there. So there's you. What are you doing? All right. Back to the show. Let's stop playing.
I wanted to see if I could see it. Yeah, it's the only option. It stinks.
Anyway. So next is respect. What do you got for that?
Respect. So if you don't, I mean, this falls into the integrity side of things too, right? and honesty. If you don't have respect for one another, then you're not going to have a solid relationship. I'm a little lost in this one. I think I'm gonna let you take it because I think I'm
Sure.
gonna fall back into the other roles.
Sure, not a problem. So respect is two respects. You need to respect her for who she is, but before you can ever do that, before a relationship ever begins, you need to make sure that you respect yourself. Self-respect, that's where you're going to get your accountability. Uh, that's where you're going to get your standards and everything that makes you who you are. It's all going to start with self-respect. And if you can respect yourself, then you can respect her. But you'll never really respect her truly if you don't respect yourself.
Yeah.
So that's where respect comes in. So it's respect for her, respect for yourself. Those two together are, I mean, that's probably, no, I don't know. I can't say which one is more important because communication, they're all up there. So, yeah.
I mean,
So,
you gotta have respect for yourself. You gotta have respect for yourself first. Otherwise, you can't respect somebody else.
yes. And to Joel and Glow, no soup for you. 1 year.
Yeah, I was waiting to ask what the soup was.
Don't worry.
Am I getting some soup? I want some vegetable
Inside
soup.
thing. Inside
Oh,
thing.
okay. Well, while we're talking about Joel, right?
Yeah.
We got to show Joel's book.
How about the cup? How
Guys,
about the cup?
well,
How about
the
Glow?
cup too.
Well, the cup is both of them.
We'll get the cup. So you explain sessions and lessons better. So go for it.
Sessions and Lessons is the second best podcast in the world. The first best would be the one you're watching right now. Sessions and Lessons, they are awesome. They are it is Joel and Glow Rosario, and they are a married couple. They are not professional at all. At all. Zero professional whatsoever. But they are awesome. They shoot the shit back and forth, and they are great people to listen to. I love it. I did not listen to today's yet. I was saving for Monday, and then I forgot tomorrow's a holiday, so I can listen to it today. I'm not walking anywhere. It's snowing. It's disgusting. Maybe I'll listen to it. I'm shoveling. Oh, wait. I don't shovel. I live in a condo. I pay for that.
Look at you.
Yeah.
All right. And guys, if you're looking for a great book, this is Joel's book, May December End. You can find it on Amazon.com. It's May December End by Joel Rosario. Joel, thank you for the mug, brother. Appreciate it. Appreciate the stickers, and I love the bookmarks. Thanks a lot, bro.
Yeah, he can stop stealing the bookmarks from church now.
You're not supposed to tell on me.
I didn't tell on you.
I have them everywhere.
That was my honesty. That was my honesty coming out. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry. I don't know what Glow just said. We definitely do what? I missed that. Appreciate y'all.
Oh, she's talking about what you're saying.
We appreciate you. I appreciate you. I think AJ does too. But anyway, so the next up is trust. This is a huge one for me anyway, because it brings integrity and accountability. So if you are accountable and you have integrity, you are most likely trustworthy.
Yeah, 100%.
Since it was your game you played, what do you have?
So if there's a question of trust, there's no point in being in the relationship.
Hold that thought real quick. It's for your brother. It is not an Audible. I think he's working on it. But if you have, you can download it in Kindle, and Alexa can read it to you. So there's that for you, Sean.
Yes. Fall from May, December End.
Yes.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Back to what you do. Sorry.
A great book. For trust, there's no point in the relationship. So there was the point in my marriage where trust became an issue, and we split. We split because I was having trust issues. It created all kinds of problems. I dragged my first marriage into this marriage, along with all the issues that were going on from my accident, and just created a hellstorm. But no matter what, as long as that marriage had been, it wasn't worth having if I wasn't trustworthy. And it wasn't because she was necessarily doing things that weren't trustworthy, but it was my own issues and I couldn't get over them. if you don't have that trust, then you're going to live day to day in a dangerous, uncomfortable world where you're never going to feel comfortable. And it took a year. We took months of being away from each other and almost a year of working at it to conversate and rebuild that trust. But I can tell you that I know what it feels like to be on the end of that spectrum where you don't trust in a relationship, and it's detrimental. It will destroy you every day, as will it. Same thing for women. It's the same case for them. If there's not trust, it will destroy the other person one way or another. It is. It's definitely part of the foundation. It should be the beginning foundation uh, when a relationship goes from something cutesy and lusty to an actual relationship.
And every relationship starts off like that. They all start off with
Right.
the cutesy, lusty, can't get enough
Yep.
of you. And
Yep.
once it
100%.
actually goes from that stage to more of a growth stage together, the trust has to be
Sure.
there. But
Yep.
I want to ask you, have you always trusted yourself?
No. On a personal level, outside of relationship wise, or on a relationship level?
Either way, both.
On a relationship level, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I've never had. I've had many opportunities in both of my marriages where I could have had affairs, and I could have been that guy that was flirtatious or allowed myself to be in those situations. I mean, all my years at work, every time I ever stayed away, most of the guys that I stayed with had wives and kids that were at home, and they all had girls over for the week while they stayed at the hotel. Like I never understood that aspect of things. Like I don't live in that world where I could feel comfortable. Uh, Maybe when I was much younger, but I don't even know to say that either, because I married my first wife at 16 and I never cheated on her. So,
Okay.
right, yeah. Uh, Now, on another side of trust, if you go past the relationship side, yeah, there's been lots of times in my life that I haven't trusted myself, which is one of the things that, as men, you have to put that work in. You have to put that work in. If you don't trust yourself, then you can't trust other people. That's another, hard truth in itself, right?
So yes, it is. And there was a time in my life where I couldn't trust myself. And
Yep.
we talked about it a little bit today before the podcast, though, that I trust myself all the way now because I know now that I have God back in my life, I know
Yeah.
that He's steering the ship. I know the plan is in place, and whatever your beliefs are, those are mine, and that allows me to trust in whatever's next.
Yeah.
If I fall on my face, I trust there's a plan and a reason behind it.
I like that, Joel.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson. That'd be a lot of
Yeah.
mother, you know what's in that book,
You
right? Did he
said
say that?
sorry, say it again.
Isn't that Samuel L. Jackson's like keyword, mother something,
Well,
trucker?
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Um, Joel, your book is also on Nook. Is that what you're saying? The book's also on Nook and
Yes.
soon on Barnes and Noble. That's awesome. Congratulations, brother. That's great.
You're the first famous guy that I know. I love it.
Yeah, see that? Wow, look at that. I had a famous guy text me an inspirational quote the other morning that made my morning.
You better send
I
him a
woke
check.
up. I don't even want to say I woke up because I really wasn't sleeping, but I got out of bed in a ton of pain and just the worst mood in the world. And this famous man, Joel Rosario, imagine that someday I'll be able to say that, sent me this amazing inspirational wake up text. See, Joel, I'm gonna love that. I'm
It's
going to
funny you
hold
say
you
because
for
I
throwing that shout
this
out.
this famous guy actually texted me that same morning with a picture of me and my best friend. Yeah,
Imagine that.
he's a bully. He's just a bully. He's a famous bully, is what he is. Anyway,
All right.
next up, honesty. I'm waiting for his
Honesty.
comments on this. I don't see nothing, but anyway, honesty.
I know. Maybe you went to the bathroom.
It's all good.
Honesty. you take honesty.
He doesn't know what we're talking about. How do I take honesty? So honesty is another. It's another huge one. You need to be honest with yourself,
Yeah,
and with her, and with the kids, and everybody in your life. Because
right.
and take it from me, I was a. I don't know if I was good at it. I think I was pretty. I was a pretty good liar back in the day.
Yeah.
I got really good at trying to remember the lies so that they didn't. Whatever I told one person, I could tell you, and you guys could talk, and it would line up.
Oh,
But it
really?
was a
Oh,
lot
good.
of work.
That's a lot to keep up with it.
And as I started getting into this work, I realized that that I did not know. I did not have a relationship with myself. I didn't know my identity, and that's why I was lying.
Well,
So,
honesty also falls into our value center too, right?
absolutely,
So if we're completely honest and our feet are planted in the ground, then they're going to know our values, and we have to be honest enough to tell them what our values are. Whoever that person is you're in a relationship with, you have to be honest with them about that, and you should be honest with the person even in starting a new relationship, even in that fun, gushy, lushy stage.
hmm
Because what is the point if you're not honest? Then they're not going to know that. Okay, well, I'm a man that I don't have a for instance, but right this moment, but these are my values. This is what I value. Like I value Christianity. I value church on Sunday. I value alone time with my family. I value touch. If I'm not honest about those things, I get into a relationship. How does that line up? You guys don't line up because you weren't honest. And then you're not true to your own values. You're not true to your own
absolutely,
values, then you're miserable in life, going far past even a relationship.
yes,
But we're running out of time here, so I just wanted
yes.
to,
15 minutes
unless you
still.
want to keep going, but
We'll
yeah,
do
all
whatever. I
right.
don't really care. We still have 5 on
So
here and 3 or whatever.
perfect.
When it's done, it's
All
done.
right, run it up.
Yeah, 'cause intimacy
Boundaries.
is the big one I want to get to. But
Yeah,
actually, this next one's even bigger. Maybe I don't know. Boundaries.
boundaries.
All right, so boundaries all line up with what we discussed the other week with your non-negotiables,
Yeah,
and they are your non-negotiables are your standards, but you can't set your standards or your expectations of other people without boundaries. And before this work, like I remember one of the biggest things that I asked my coach when I had one was, "What is a boundary? I don't get it." I had no clue. And
mm,
then when I started like reading books on it, I thought it was just rules.
yeah,
Like you're not gonna leave a dirty dish on my in my sink, which that's just a rule. That's not a boundary. A boundary is something that it's a fence that you put up. Boundaries are huge. Yes, they are. Uh,
yeah.
unless you don't have boundaries, then they're not huge. But it's a
No,
fence that you put up to keep the wrong people out. But there's a gate where you can let the right people in.
right.
And the people that are in, they know the boundary. They should know the boundary. Or if they
Right.
cross it, they will know. And
Yeah.
then I usually give them 1, 2 more shots once they know the boundary, and then they are out the gate.
It's funny. I learned to follow that from you.
What's that?
That's the exact way that I follow my boundaries. I let you know my boundary. You get two
hmm
shots. That's it.
Yeah.
I've talked about it. I had the conversation recently with Jay Sean. Jay Sean's named after Big Sean that you have in the text. I was talking to Jay about it the other day, and I told him, I says, look, I tell Kate just the same as I tell you guys or anybody else. You get a couple of shots. If you can't follow my boundaries in life, it doesn't matter who you are. I might still love you. I'm gonna kick your ass out of my world, at least out of living in my home and in my personal space on a day-to-day basis. Even loved ones. Loved ones can still be a part of your family. I think it was actually my oldest son that said it best. You can still be in my universe. I can still keep you in my universe and love you, but it doesn't mean that you're in my planet or you're in my part of the world, right?
Sure. You know, your family, your loved ones, those are the ones that are going to cross it more than ever because they
Right.
think they're family. They can do that.
But
That blood
sometimes
is
you got
thicker
to
than
teach them
water or
they
whatever.
can't. Yeah,
But If they are your boundaries and they are there to protect you, then no, you get 3 shots max with me.
Yeah.
So, and that's it. Done. So the other day, actually, let me take a step back. So 3 shots, and, we talked the other day about being sorry. And when you say you're sorry, the first thing you need to do, the person saying sorry, is change their behavior immediately so they do not have to say, I'm sorry again. So if you cross my boundary and I make you aware of it and you say you're sorry, your first thing you should be working on is fixing what you have done, your actions, so you don't repeat those. And if you truly do that the right way, you won't cross the boundary again. You might cross a different boundary, but you'll get the same warning.
Right.
I'll trust you give me a reason. I'll trust you until you give me a reason not to. Then you have to earn it back. Absolutely. Absolutely. So,
I remember when I was younger, I changed that whole meaning of I'll trust you until you give me a reason not to, and I tried to start living life by I don't trust anyone until they give me reason to be trusted, and I probably spent 15 or more years living by that, and that was like my strong value, my strong boundary. There was no trust until you gave me a reason to trust you. But it shut me off from having relationships with people. It really did. How can you not? If you don't trust people, then you really don't have them in your life. They're not in that inner circle. They're not in your world, right?
right.
You can't expect somebody to do something to create a trust system
No,
before you're going to let them in your life.
right. You let them in first.
Right.
Assuming that they are going to be the person that you expect them to be. And I think that goes with the law of attraction. You're not going to be attracted to someone who is completely not up to your standards and values and stuff. So, like, I'm most likely not going to go to the jail and find people that have the same values that I have and want to hang out with them.
Right.
But I might. You never really know. Whatever. But yeah, so you have to have that trust off the bat. When they break it, that's when it starts. Joel says going through 100%. Life blocking people out of the gate all of the time. Been there, done that. Yes, and that's called, what is that called?
Yeah.
Isolation, self-isolation. When you block people off right at the bat because you create a story in your head, then you're self-isolating. But
was no trust.
Yes.
Well,
so, but all right, next one, so we can get to the most important part one for me anyway. So date nights, that's actually very important also. Yeah. These are all really important.
I'm going to run on that. So I put a lot of thought into this aspect because it used to be that I wanted to go out on dates all the time. And after my wife was going through cancer, by the time the second round of cancer and the chemo and the radiation, everything, there was no going out and doing things anymore. And that ate away at me for years and years and years as I would go into work on Monday morning and I'd listen to all the guys that I thought were my brothers coming in and having blown out conversations on the weekend that they had with their girlfriends. And they did this and they did that. And I guess I got a bad sense being around all those men on what a date night is. A date night can be as simple as sitting at home and watching a movie and sharing a nice dinner, just the two of you. It doesn't have to be something that goes out. Now, at this point, I don't leave the house really, unless it's to go to church or to go to my other house. Outside of that, I mean, I really don't leave the house. There's the occasional ride. So what I will do, though, is like I did the other day with Catherine. Like I went outside. We sat outside on the porch for like an hour and a half, just watching the deer. And when we were done watching the deer, we went inside. We had a nice dinner together, and then we went and watched a movie and cuddled in front of the fireplace. That was a perfect date night. Date nights don't have to be something that costs money, but it needs to be one-on-one. It needs to not involve the kids. It needs to be personal. And it needs to be something that you both want. That's the most important. It needs to be something that both of you want. It can't just be something that one of you wants.
Yes.
What are you watching?
No, I got to think. My brother just asked me if it was still live, but he just put something in there. So yeah, it was still live, but I can't talk on my phone. Stop texting me. Um, I'm gonna throw this watch in the garbage. So date nights. When I was married, I did not. We did not do date nights. We did
Yeah,
not. And I'm divorced now, so you can see where that went. There were many other
yeah,
reasons why we're divorced, but
yeah,
one is that date nights didn't happen. And that's going
yeah,
to lead to the last one, but we still have one more, which is actually we can tie the last two together.
yeah,
Even throw in with the date night. So the last two are romance and
absolutely.
intimacy. So let's skip to intimacy and then we'll go back to romance. What is intimacy to you?
Intimacy to me is just it's personal time. It's my idea of intimacy. I'm trying to think of the best way to explain it because it has nothing to do with under the cover relations, so to say. That's not intimacy. Intimacy is something that is private and sacred between two people. Intimacy doesn't have to have anything to do with relations in that form. And I'm not sure off either one of these platforms if I can use certain words. So I'm trying to touch base or if I'm confusing anybody out there. But um, intimacy to me is personal time with my wife in a private setting. I love to give my wife neck massages, back massages. It's kind of hard having one hand, but gotta laugh at it.
You might as well laugh at that one.
So it's hard, but I still love to do it. It's very personal and it's very intimate, and that it makes and creates that real intimacy between the two of us. It's very personal, and it's very special to both of us. And that's the important part. It's special to both of us. It's not just special to her because she's receiving the massage. It's special to me. See you later, Cliff.
Cliff is, yeah, I was going to
Hope
say
to
it,
see
but
you later, brother. He's probably
so
already gone.
intimacy is, it could be pillow talk. It could be, like you said, the massage, opening up, being vulnerable. Vulnerability is intimacy.
Mhm.
So, but now if you want it, so intimacy and sex are two completely different things. Just want to make that very clear. Those are
Most men
not
don't
the
know
same
that.
thing. So when she wants to get intimate and your pants fall off, that doesn't work. um, so, but I want so to tie that into the romance thing is I got this book. It was recommended by a coach. She Comes First. This book is all about how to
Okay.
please a woman without intercourse.
I have that book.
You have this?
I do.
Good for you, brother. Good for you. Um, it's actually a great book. It tells you all different whatever tricks and things, but it's not about the tricks. It's about knowing a woman's body the best you can as a man, and
Yeah.
that really brings in the romance and the intimacy all together. And if your romance and intimacy are where they need to be, like right, romance, intimacy, are higher, higher, higher. Eventually, that becomes the best intercourse you can have, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yep. It's
So,
bonding without the giggity. Oh, I love it, Glow.
yes, you
Joel
do.
said the what? It's the giggity, Joel. You
The
don't know
giggity
what the
giggity goo.
giggity is? It's the giggity.
That's
That's
a
a
new
new
one.
one.
Gonna
Gonna
use it.
use it. Joe, you don't know what the giggity is? Oh, come on,
Simple.
man.
Give us the credit card. There you go. That's intimacy. Here you go. Oh, by the way, it's
Yeah.
maxed out. Have fun.
Yeah. Enjoy yourself.
So, um,
So
before, go ahead. Sorry.
I want to cut you off real quick. Sorry, brother. So we have a minute. So I had actually added in the 11th thing, which I think I had sent to you, and
What do you got?
never get comfortable. Never get comfortable. It was something I added in. It didn't really fit into rules, right? To where I was going with my rules. Comfortability is your worst enemy in a relationship. Once you get comfortable, You stop thriving. You stop trying to take care. You stop trying to take care of yourself. You're not putting the work in anymore. That's part of date nights. That's where date nights fall off. Notice you're with somebody, you're married for 5, 10 years. The date nights end. You stop having the date nights. You stop having that intimacy. It's Saturday or Sunday. You have the weekend off. You're not worrying about showering. You're not worried about looking good. You're walking around in your bathrobe. Your hair's a mess. You look like shit. You need to shave. You need to take care of yourself. We discussed this, as a matter of fact, in church. It was actually Nick. Nick said it on his recording that he had sent on Remnant Night about always working out to take care of your family. You know, the need to be physically fit to protect your family. But it falls into that being comfortable, right? Is your wife going to want to marry the person you are in another 10 years? Is that what she would want? Do you think that's what she's going to want out of her relationship or out of her marriage? Think about who you were when she married you. Do you think that she still looks at you the same way today? Or are you living in that comfortable role where you're not taking care of yourself and you're not taking care of making sure that you look good for her? Right? What do you do in the beginning of a relationship? Everybody's got their hair cut nicely done. We all got our cologne on, our good deodorant. We're wearing our nice clothes. We'd never answer the door for the new girl you started dating in your bathrobe, right? Same thing with women. They'd never go near a guy they just started dating without putting on makeup or at least putting on nice clothing. Sorry for any women that might be on here that don't wear makeup. I don't believe in makeup, so don't take it personal, thinking that's what I meant. But it's just, it goes the same for both sides. When you get comfortable, shit falls apart. Men and women gain weight. They stop looking after themselves. No longer get together. Sometimes the more comfortable marriages get. I know that's where mine got. And I know it got to a point where it didn't matter if I slopped around and didn't take care of myself for weeks. I thought it was okay. Didn't think it mattered anymore.
Yeah.
No, I've been married for 13 years. What does it matter anymore?
That's a whole nother topic we could talk about next week if you want. Comfortability.
Comfortability. Yeah, we should. I'd like that.
Two more.
Run on there.
I lost the book ready. So guys, if you guys are going through a divorce or a breakup or a separation, go to northmancoaching.com, download my free ebook, The First 30 Days, and it will walk you through how to respond versus react the first 30 days after a breakup. And if you get that and you want to know more, then schedule your free 1 hour call. We can discuss it. It's not a call to get you to sign up for anything else. Just want to see where you're at and where you want to go. And like I said, if you want to hire me, hire me. If not, that's fine too. Do what you got to do. The last thing I want to do is recommend another book that I picked up today. I read the audiobook and it was amazing. And I'm going to read them both together, or listen and read. Is The Bible Simplified. And I think that's backwards probably to everybody, but whatever.
No, you got it. It looks right.
Does it? Okay.
You're
The
good,
Bible
brother.
Simplified by Zach Windell. Windell, whatever it is. I don't know. Anyway, it's when I listened to it, it was incredible. It really breaks the Bible down in very easy to understand. It keeps it very interesting. Excellent book. So check that out. The Bible Simplified. That's all I got. So Bible Simplified, the first 30 days. Check out our men's group. And that's all I got.
Yeah, guys, come check out our men's group every Thursday night. Go to northmancoaching.com. Gary, where do they go on northmancoaching.com Thursday night to 7?
For the men's group, northmancoaching.com under resources and then upcoming events. And the link is right there.
Yeah, every Thursday at 7 p.m. Motivational men's group for any guys out there that need help going through a breakup, going through a divorce, or just going through a troublesome time in life. Come out. It's a judge-free zone. There's great guys in our men's group. It's a great group.
Anyway,
$10 for your first month. Completely free.
There you go. But yeah, but like I said, check us out. Anyway, you guys all have a good night, and we will see you next Sunday, guys. Have a good one.
Have a great night, guys.